respect to His Majesty, the King. King is the third. And then pay my respects to the Right Honorable the Prime Minister, also Head of Government. I'll recognize the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, under whom the Central Bank reports. Having said that, I also recognize that Dr. Alfred Honey is here with us and will also join this opening ceremony. So I recognize him as well. Having said that, my job is to welcome you to the kingdom and express hope that your travel and your stay until now has been safe and fairly comfortable. I want to believe that up to this point, the hospitality that you have received from airport transfers to your lodging facilities, and then from lodging facilities, not only hope, I demand from my team that the hospitality that you get is worthy, emphasizes among others. The theme of the JLP is women-led, and then you have alternative finance. It's interesting, it says women-led. I had a brief chat with Audrey and the team yesterday, and I shared with a catchphrase that we like in the kingdom that was popularized by a prominent figure that, and Basotho will know this, and you shouldn't laugh. You shouldn't laugh, but you know this phrase. There's deep and profound meaning in that. Because from time immemorial, we know this as Africans, and I'm sure other races would attest to this, that women, our mothers, time has shown, history attests, that they are excellent resource managers. They are the ones who build homes, who take care of families. You know, in the village, whatever that ends, it doesn't matter. Mom will make it work. Whatever that ends, whether it's little, whether it's substantial, it doesn't matter. Mom will make it work. We will all have clothes, we will all have food, we will all have the basic necessities. So, for me, instead of mothers are caring, I say mom will make it work. Everything else other than your traditional bank finance. How do we leverage these other forms of finance to ensure that women-led microfinance, not microfinance, see, being a regulator, this is occupational hazard now. Being a regulator of microfinance institutions. Micro, small and medium enterprises led by women. We now want to expose them to other forms of finance to ensure that they have more access. And the week's proceedings, experiences will be shared by some that have had access to this The landscape of alternative finance in the Kingdom of Lesotho, that will cover that during the proceedings. And then you'll get real life experiences of those that have access to those sources. Once it works, the magic is in scaling it up. You try something, it works well for you. The magic now becomes, how do we scale it up so that we can do this at a larger scale? And that is, I think, where gains, real gains, get unlocked. So, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, let me once again welcome you to the Kingdom of Lesotho and continue to trust that the hospitality will be shown with you, and that later on you would feel the need to visit Lesotho with your family, and say, you know, we can't forget that hospitality, we can't forget the people of Lesotho. We miss the people of Lesotho. We want to go back, have some interactions with the people of Lesotho outside of, you know, workshop formal settings. We want to now experience the real Lesotho, experience elevation. Do you know that Lesotho is the only country in the world where the sky, also called the Mountain Kingdom? 70% of the land mass, more than 70% actually, of the land mass is mountain ranges. So what you see here around us in Masego, that's just 25% of the country mass of this country. It's a beautiful landscape. I hope you get to see that, you get to experience that, surprise with an excursion, and then you'll get to see the beauty of this kingdom. With these remarks, thank you very much. I think from here, I don't know, someone will call Dr. Alfred Henning for his remarks, but having said this, thank you very much. I wish you productive 4 days. Welcome to the Mountain Kingdom.
To welcome all to this African Joint Learning Program on the Alternative Finance Instrument for Women-led MSMEs, which from our point of view is a very highly relevant topic for the country of Lesotho, for Africa, for the whole AFI network, and also beyond. I'm saying this also giving the context, that is, as you all know, that some of the values that all of us stand for, such as equality, diversity. In Accra at AFI meeting, the regional gathering of our members in Africa, or even very recently in Luxembourg in November, when we had our first Euro Global Dialogue series around gender inclusive finance. I think our members always, during this time, made every effort to confirm that their work on key policy and regulatory issues that are highly relevant in their own country context have to and will continue, such as the important work on gender inclusive finance. And what we are doing today, of course, forms a big part of this specific policy dimension. Now, having said that, it is therefore very, very encouraging for me to see such strong representation gathered there in Maseru. Around said that if we feel the need to visit the Kingdom of Lesotho, I may say that I already felt the need to visit the Kingdom of Lesotho, meaning that I had the privilege to visit your country around a year ago, precisely on 31st of January 2025. And let me just say that this was a really memorable visit for us, and for myself. It was my first trip to Lesotho. I also learned about which I actually urged our team to put it in the back to office report, this national motto that you have, which is Kotso Pulanala, which translates obviously to peace, reign, and prosperity. Well, we really like that, and I think this motto beautifully captures the spirit of what brings us together today and what motivates us. And ultimately, as Deputy Governor has elaborated on very nicely, women's financial inclusion is about ensuring prosperity for all. Now, since 2012, I think the central bank's commitment to advancing financial inclusion has been very, very strong. We have seen real results coming through. By 2021, the financial inclusion rates had indeed reached 91%, which is largely being driven by embracing mobile money and digital IDs. And in addition, I think the central bank has also shown enormous commitment to gender inclusive finance and has made and met very ambitious gender inclusive targets through the AFI-Meyer Declaration. Index is the only database really that is out there looking across. We also know that there are perhaps some observations on the accuracy at some point, but I think in the Lesotho case we can really see that the results leave no doubt about the country's commitment on financial inclusion. Because when you look at 2011 in that database, we saw that 17% of women had access to formal financial services, and by 2024, this number had tripled and has reached 60%. We at RFEB, of course, would like to embark further on in-depth data collection across the network to bring out more granular data. So this is also to come, and I'm pretty sure that the case of Lesotho will be highly insightful for us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as the Deputy Governor has already alluded to the rationale of this event, I think it's all about the point that more than 1 in 4 African women in Africa starts or manages a business. It's the highest rate in the world. We are all indeed very well aware that women entrepreneurs are vital drivers of economic development and job creation. And just because women typically reinvest up to 90% of their income in the education, health and nutrition of their family and community, women entrepreneurs indeed have the potential to transform whole societies, as marketplace lending, credit guarantee schemes, and movable collateral-based lending. Against this background, we at RFI, of course, we take a keen interest in alternative finance instruments as a mechanism to drive women's members on the policy, regulatory, infrastructure requirements in this space. Some of these insights you will find on the website. There are some RFI publications, including the policy model for gender inclusive finance, the survey report on the alternative finance instruments for MSMEs, and also the alternative data for credit scoring, among others. So I think it's worth a look. They, I think, cater very well to the needs of this JLP as well. Now, just a few words on our collaboration with the Central Bank. The Central Bank of Lesotho has been a very valued and active member within the network since 2012. The CBL is also a founding member of RFI's Gender Inclusive Finance Committee, which is, as you know, a permanent board committee. And the CBL also currently serves as a vice chair of the audit committee. And on top of that, it has also made outstanding contributions to our working groups and activities and to sharing knowledge across RFI platforms. Some has been mentioned, another example you see just in front of you today. As regulatory, legal, societal, and also structural barriers, which indeed are holding them back from exploiting their full potential, which would lead in higher contributions to economic growth. And the barriers, of course, include collateral constraints, services are costly or unsuitable. Women face issues such as challenges around creditworthiness due to their lack of formal credit history and so forth. But we do know, and Deputy Governor has said it, we do know that women in vital space. All I can say, because I can't be with you and enjoy the incredible hospitality of the country that I visited last year, all I can say is that I wish you all an enjoyable and very productive joint learning program. Thank you very much, and hopefully see some of you later in the year at the various occasions. Thanks.
other financial institutions, supervision including the central bank. I am Bafuke Laws. I oversee supervision of insurance companies, microfinance institutions, the Credit Information Bureau, pension funds, and also the registrar of the collateral registry, which we call the RIMA, to host this joint learning program together with our partners and the network, which we call the Alliance for Financial Inclusion. We have had preliminary discussions where the joint learning program was opened by the Deputy Governor alongside the Chief Executive of AFI, and we are now starting with our program. Countries from across the globe, from Africa to Asia to Eastern Europe and the Arab nations. So it's a wide network where we meet as peers, as equals, to discuss anything financial inclusion, to help each other in the same mission of advancing financial inclusion, to learn from each other, but also to raise funds and support countries that are lagging behind. AFI, in about 2015, 2014, been an active member and a participating member of AFI. Part of why we joined AFI was because AFI presents a platform where we are all equals, especially for small economies like that of ours, and for countries which are not prominent. The joint learning program is an opportunity or a platform for a country to showcase to the world and to the members of AFI, and obviously to the country, in terms of the amount of work that we have done. So we were delighted to be recognized by AFI as the country of Lesotho to present and showcase all our efforts to the world. We are not just presenting or showcasing, we are also going to learn from other countries. The reason why we were regarded as relevant in this particular topic, which is alternative finance instruments for women-led MSMEs, is because we made commendable strides in forging financial inclusion, in particular for women. In her tenure, she spearheaded the transformation of making sure that women are active participants in the economy of this country. And we thank her for her leadership and for her passion in inclusion and women, that there are better outcomes than just one having a bank account or a loan account. We now want them to play a leading role in growing this economy, given that in terms of access, we can say there is wide coverage of access. So ladies and gentlemen, that is in short why we were recognized and why we are here. We have representation from many countries from Africa, which we will share our experiences to and which we will also learn from. The Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and other key ministries, the key implementing agencies of government, including the LNDC, BEDCO, and many others. Also, we have also invited MSMEs, women-led MSMEs themselves, who are the beneficiaries of all the efforts that we have made. And I almost forgot our critical component and partner, which is the competitiveness and inclusion, financial inclusion CAFI program under the Ministry of Trade. So all of them are here. The achievement that we have seen as the country is not that of the central bank alone. It is that of all the stakeholders that I talked about. And so when we showcase what we have done to the world, we will not only showcase it and put the glory upon the central bank alone, but we will share the story together with our stakeholders whom we have traveled this journey. I think that gives a brief overview of why we are here and what the program looks like.
Very good morning to you all. It is my pleasure to be here. My name is Audrey Ole. I'm the head of policy management in AFI. As a background, we are really excited to be here in Lesotho, particularly for this important event, which is being co-hosted by the Central Bank of Lesotho. We are looking at having discussions among regulators, policymakers, on alternative financing instruments to support women MSMEs. Important topic, not only for Lesotho, but for many governments across Africa. Yes, but specifically for this event, we have representatives from 23 African countries who have gathered here to have conversations on what can be done to promote women MSMEs, particularly in terms of access, usage of quality financial services. We are very delighted that the Central Bank of Lesotho has agreed to bring together these leaders to have these conversations. And the reason why we chose Central Bank of Lesotho particularly is because of the tremendous work that we have seen that Lesotho has made significant strides in advancing women MSMEs in terms of their access as well as usage of formal financial services. As already indicated earlier on in the opening remarks, if we look at where Lesotho came from and where it is now, we can see the progress. And leaders have come here to have conversations, to share ideas. One of the flagship services that we offer as AFI is we learn from each other. And learning from each other, everyone is coming to the table with their ideas, with what they have implemented successfully, what challenges have been faced, and we sit together to have those conversations and to learn from each other. So today we are really excited and we are really honored. We strongly believe that the majority of the population, we have done ourselves a great service. We cannot talk about economic development. We cannot talk about economic growth, leaving the women behind. So we are very honored and we are very excited. We are looking forward to having great conversations. We are looking forward to learning from each other, and we are looking forward to a successful